What's going on, world? Peace, love, pagonas. Today we're going to be doing a video on bearded dragon eggs hatching and what to do next. Enjoy. What do we have cooking in here? Alright, so as you can see, I have a clutch that was laid on February 8th, 2019 of some white leather tigers. It was basically a white leather tiger crossed to a white hypo normal scale. So what we'll be hoping for is some hypo white leather tigers. Alright. White leather tigers are really a classic morph in my opinion. Beautiful dragons, very, very bold tiger bars, and white coloration. So I'm taking these guys out of the incubator. And they've only just started hatching. As you can see, we have one all the way out the egg. As of right now, it's not looking like the whitest, but it also did just hatch. That one, like, it might end up being a hypo. And a few peeping heads and one guy all the way out the egg. One thing I love about this morph is I don't add a lot of genetics to it. The only genetics I really have in it right now are hypo and a possibility for trans. And what this does is it allows me to outcross these dragons into very prolific genetic combinations and make very, strong outcrossings. With this line, I often have normal bearded dragons, meaning they're not hypo, they're not trans, they might be hets. And in some cases, they're not even het carriers, 66% possible hets. And if they are het, it's usually just for hypo. But whatever the case, it's good to have some normals in your bloodline, like I said, to outcross into certain projects to make the offspring a little stronger. Okay, you want to outcross as much as possible without getting too far away from your destination or your desired goal. But we're going to put these guys back in the incubator for now. I'll let a few more of these guys come out, and then I'll start showing you what I do with the babies once they're done hatching, okay? We'll check back in on these guys a little later. For now, I'm going to put them back in the incubator. Waiting for this clutch to hatch. These will be Whitblits, citrus Whitblits. And this is also part of the tiger clutch. It's one out in there already. But I had to separate them into two containers because I couldn't fit all the eggs in one. Alright, so I let a whole 24 hours go past. Yesterday was April the 11th. It was my birthday. So these are actually birthday babies. These are the babies that started hatching yesterday. But I let a whole 24 hours go past and just let the whole clutch hatch out. So that way when I take everybody out, I can take everybody at one time. Usually it'll take a clutch 1 to sometimes even 2 days to completely hatch. Alright, so let's go ahead and check the incubator and see what we got going on. Yep, so it looks like everybody's out the egg. They deep in there. And I told you I also had another little group from that clutch in a separate container. So they didn't hatch exactly on 60 days. They wanted to wait until my birthday and hatched at, 63 days? So, yeah, here they are. Like I said, you can see them through the container, but I'm about to actually now take them and show you exactly what it is you want to do when your dragons hatch from the incubator, okay? Alright, so now, the first thing you want to do when you have new bearded dragons hatch or you have hatchlings hatch out of the eggs is you want to get everybody rinsed off so you can get a good look at what you're dealing with. And then you want to, possibly separate them into separate groups. And then what I do is I would, in most cases, put them back in the incubator for an additional day. Or in some cases, I'll just go ahead and straight to putting them on the hatchling rack. In this case, because everybody hatched simultaneously, and you know, it'll depend on like if they've absorbed the egg yolks and all of that. But in this case, what I'm most likely going to do is go ahead and straight to putting these guys on Hatchling Rack, so I'll show you that. But first, we'll go ahead and get them in the water. Okay, now with your water, you don't want this to be deep at all. Okay, just enough water for them to run around, splash around in. As you can see, the water doesn't even completely cover the whole bottom in some cases. But just enough for them to splash around in and get the dirt off of them. Alright, so like I said, you can get a good look at them and know exactly what you're working with. So let's do that. Like I said, you want to get all the hatchlings rinsed off so you can see what you're working with. Already got the water in the tubs. Start with this first container. And you want to hold them over the tub. As you see, they'll shoot right out. Give you a look at some of these guys. This one's really pretty. You can tell this one's going to be real white. I don't know if you can see it good. Let me see. But yes, that right there is a white leather tiger, and it's actually a hypo white leather tiger. And as these get older, they spread out more. Of course, I'm going to include some pictures of white leather tigers that I've already produced, that have grown up and bred, etc., so forth and so on, to show you what this line looks like. But this is the white leather tiger. Like I said, this is one of my favorite lines. This is actually one of the first lines I started working with. Before I was really like able to afford whip-blit bearded dragons, I dealt a lot with the, you know, I wanted to produce white bearded dragons, or dragons that I could just, you know, get to be as white as possible. And then I came across whip-blits and zeros. You know, some people consider whip-blits to be white. Some people consider zeros to be white, and the hypo zeros can be white. But really, I don't consider either of those to be white. I really only feel like white dragons are white. You know what I mean? So this line right here comes from a white leather tiger that I produced from our white leather tiger line, crossed to a white hypo that was produced by Upscale's Classic Dragons. Amy Turnbull is one of my favorite breeders. Love Amy. She's such a great person. Great to work with. Really loves her animals. And, you know, if you guys are looking for some great whites, she also has some white head zeros right now. You should definitely check her out on Instagram. I'll be sure to put her Instagram on the screen. Ruthless with the plug. But anyway, like I said, this is one of my favorite lines. One of the first lines that I started working with. And basically, as this dragon gets older, just like a red or yellow dragon would color up with every shade, this dragon should get whiter and whiter as it gets older and continues to stretch out. Okay? The bars will become a little crisp. In some cases, they'll even fade in some cases, but usually become a little more crisp. And a lot of the tint drops out of the white, and these are really nice as adults. Like I said, I'll post some pictures in the video. But yeah, we want to get all these guys out into the water. Now it's 21 babies. We should have 21 babies. Okay? And they're going to be a little hyper when they first hatch. So like I said, you want to kind of hold them over the water. Can you guys see that? Alright, there we go. And remember, you're not, the water they're going in is not deep water. You're not kind of taking for a swim. You just want them to be able to, you know, walk around in the water and get the dirt off of them so you can see what it is that you're working with. It's a really nice one right here. This one's beautiful. Okay, then kind of lightly scavenge through the hatch medium to make sure that no eggs got buried, because they'll get out of the eggs and bury the eggs, and it might be a dragon that didn't hatch. But yeah, it looks like everybody hatched. Of course, we'll count them. And I believe I wrote down we had 21 eggs, and I believe every egg made it to the hatching point. But when I said we'll count them and see to make sure. But I really like this line, and this clutch looks really good. I see some really nice whites. and some really nice tiger barn. I can tell this is going to be really nice as they start to age and shed, etc. And like I said, there's not a lot of genetics in this line, so it usually produces some very big, healthy dragons. A lot of the females I have from this line have produced 4 or 5 clutches in one breeding. In some cases, I've had a dragon produce 100 dragons and 100 eggs in 1 year from one lot. And the female that laid this clutch has already laid 2 clutches. I think she's done now. It's possible she might lay a 3rd clutch because she's still very, very fat, but she could just be picking back her weight up as well. So who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I usually get very big, healthy dragons from this line. And I can use these guys to not only continue the line, because they don't have a lot of genetics, but I can use them to outcross to other dragons that are loaded with genetics to produce stronger, offspring, strengthen up the lines and stuff. It might wash them down in color, but it'll be worth it. You know what I mean? The exchange for the health in the line will be worth it. Sort of similar to what people are doing now with Pagona barbata cross to Pagona viticeps, those hybrids people are making. The idea behind it is to produce, to strengthen the lines by adding new blood into the lines, or blood that isn't washed up with a bunch of genetics, or very closely bred, trying to produce a certain desired outcome. Okay. All right. So here's a little close up on the clutch. So like I said, first you want to let all your dragons hatch. One thing I don't recommend doing is going back and forth in the incubator every 10 minutes checking. I mean, I know it's hard to resist because you're excited, especially if this is your first clutch. You're excited to see what's hatching and see what you got. Trust me, I've been there. But with you having other eggs or other clutches in the incubator, it can throw off the temps and possibly cause problems for the other babies when they hatch. All right, and you don't want to do that. So I had let these guys sit in the incubator and just let everybody hatch out overnight. Now we've taken them out of the medium or out of the hatching substrate, which all I use for my eggs, to put my eggs in and incubate them, is vermiculite. Okay, I used to mix vermiculite with perlite, but I found that it's really not necessary, and it's just extra having all that stuff here. So vermiculite works great. But yeah, so now I have them in the water, and we're rinsing them off. Okay. And like I said, I just want to show you guys, like, look at that. That's a beautiful white tiger. That's going to be really nice. And I believe that's a hypo. Yeah, the hypo really helps this line out. I got one more white tiger pairing that I'm working on. I mean, white pairing. It's not actually a white-legged tiger pairing, but it's just a white pairing. Hoping to produce some flush whites with white stripes. I'll do a video on that pairing to show you what what the parents will look like. But yeah, and of course some of these dragons just look like normals, as I said. This line often produces me just some really good normals. And I feel like you want to have a normal bearded dragon or two in your stable, especially if you're working with a lot of genetics like Whitblit and Zero, just to strengthen up your lines. But yeah, these guys make great healthy pets. And really, as they all get older and start to shed, like I said, a lot of them will drop color. This guy's crazy. I don't even know. From a white tiger line, he's all black. So definitely looking forward to seeing how these guys develop. The mom was actually possible had Whitblit. Of course, I didn't try to prove her out for Whitblit. That wasn't my goal with her. With my Whitblit line, I'm really looking to produce bright yellows and bright red Whitblits and oranges, which is in between the yellow and red. So producing really all white Whitblits isn't really a goal of mine. If I want to do an all white patternless dragon, then of course I'll continue to produce white dragons, pure white dragons, as well as hypo zeros. Those are going to give me the best results as far as trying to produce all white dragons. Okay, so yeah, you want to just, like I said, get these guys all soaked up. Get them in that water. I can tell you now, this one's probably going to be a keeper. But there's some other good ones in here as well that I see off just first day out of the egg. This one's nice. Tell that one's going to be really nice as an adult. Let me wipe off my lens, guys. Hold on. This one right here is really nice. This one's really nice. Come here. And that's a normal scale. That's pretty. Alright, so the next thing I want to do now that I got everybody rinsed off is I'm going to kind of separate everybody by genetics. You know what I mean? Basically, and it doesn't even have to really be by genetics, but just more so like just to see what I'm working with. So I'm going to divide these up into separate groups. And you can do it based on whatever you want to do it based on. You can do it based on how they look, what you think you might keep. But you want to break these guys down into smaller groups. And then we're going to go ahead and put them on the hatchling rack because I can see that everyone has absorbed their yolk sac fully. Like I said, this is a really strong line. You usually get really strong and healthy babies. And as you can see, they're all very lively right out of the egg, which is great. Some really unique ones in here too. Look at that pattern on that. Ain't that crazy? You guys see that pattern? Hold on. Let's hold it over here. Look at that. That is crazy. And for me, the goal of what I want to produce with my white leather tiger line, I just want black bars and bright white contrast. Okay? Should really be calling them zebras or something, but white leather tigers, white tigers. Don't have to be leather necessarily, but I prefer the leather because the leather seems to make the white stand out even more and pop even more with that black, with those black contrasting bars. But here's a normal scale. These guys are nice. Alright, so I've broken everybody down and I ended up breaking them down into 4 groups. Groups between 4 and 6 in total. So here I have a bunch of leatherback hypos, except for this guy right here. Oh no, this is a hypo, just darker at the moment. Like I said, keeping in mind these guys are fresh out of the egg. But yeah, white leather tiger hypos. And of course the hypo gene is going to make these guys probably the whitest of the clutch. These are some normal scale hypos. I really like this one. These are just normal scales. Non-hypo. Look at this one. Really nice pattern on this one. Love that line down the spine. That's like a signature with this white tiger line. They always have that Z. And these are just leatherbacks that are non-hypo as well. Nice pattern on that one. Okay. So yeah, 4 groups. And one thing you'll learn about bearded dragons as far as growing them up, if you don't already know, bearded dragons thrive, like most reptiles, alone. Okay, so when you keep them in groups, it can kind of slow down their growth rate. So it's good to start them off. You know, when you first get them out, if you wanted to, you can keep them in 1 group, 2 groups, or all together because they're just starting to acclimate. They might not even eat until the you know, 2nd or 3rd day of being out of the incubator. Which is why on some occasions, if they're still absorbing the yolk sac, you can just put them back in the incubator for another day. Like I said, in this case, we don't need to. But yeah. So breaking them down into these groups early will make it a lot easier to, 1, avoid nips, but 2, it'll help with their growth rate as well, and it'll make it easier for you as the breeder to keep your eye on individual or specific dragons because you have them broken down into groups, and you know, see which dragons are thriving, see if there's dragons that aren't thriving, etc., and know exactly, you know what I mean, what you need to do. You might even at some point want to break them down into smaller groups if you haven't already sold them, or whatever you're going to do with them. And so now we're going to go ahead and put these guys in a hatchling rack. They'll all each go into their individual tubs. Like each group will go into an individual tub. Like I said, so we can keep an eye on the individual groups. Won't offer them food today. We'll just let them warm up today, absorb some light, and get used to being outside of the egg. Tomorrow we will offer them their first meals. Okay? Sadly, early tomorrow, I'll be leaving to go to New York. Well, not sadly. I'm glad to be going to New York because I'm going to be going to the White Plains Expo. So I'll try to get some footage of that for you guys. But I won't be able to really spend the first couple days with these guys. I won't be back until Monday, which is tomorrow will be Saturday, so Sunday. 2 days I'll be gone. Luckily, the missus will take care of them, make sure that everybody's getting the food that they need. I already have the roaches and stuff here. You know, one of the biggest things about dealing with babies or hatching bearded dragons is preparation. You want to be as prepared as possible. That's not to say that you're not going to have things that you run into that you didn't expect or you didn't account for. But the more prepared you are, the easier it is to accommodate them and make sure that everyone grows up healthy and you know, successfully. As far as nips and stuff like that, I don't even really have a lot of issues with nips. In some cases, nips can be unavoidable because you might just get one dragon out of 24 that just insists on tasting tails, right? But I really don't have a problem with nips. I don't really deal with too many nips throughout you know, a year. I get a very, very minimal amount of nips, and the key to that is just making sure that you keep food readily available. And I'll show you guys what I do to keep food readily available for the dragons. So like when I'm not here, I don't have to worry about them eating on each other. You know, like if you're feeding them crickets, you can throw crickets in there, they'll eat up the crickets, but now the crickets are gone, you know, it's kind of like a puppy or a young child. They just want to explore and you know, might get bored and start taste testing. You know what I mean? So if you keep I keep little bug bowls, which I actually sell on the website, and I'll put a link to those in the description for you guys. Ruthless with the plug. But yeah, I keep a bug bowl readily available with dubia roaches or baby superworms or you know, BSFL, black soldier fly larvae in them, so that they can eat readily, and of course offer them greens. Misting also helps them a lot as far as avoiding nips. Those are some quick tips for you guys. But like I said, this is the clutch. Let's count them out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So all eggs accounted for. Healthy clutch. Everyone's completely absorbed all of their egg sacs. I don't have any kinked tails. I don't have any cleft lips. Everybody's looking good. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't even really worry about those problems with this line because it's not a lot of genetics. You really don't see those types of defects until you start dealing with genes like the translucent gene, the whiplet gene, the zero gene. The more genetics you add into a dragon, you know, the more possibilities for complications that you'll have, especially because a lot of the genetics in the bearded dragon trait are fairly new. I got a lot of good videos coming for you guys. Well, I'll explain a lot of that to you. I'm going to be, like I said, trying to put out a lot more videos, a lot more content for you all, because I know you guys are like, come on, Dave, dude, we need to know more. You know what I mean? And I have a lot more to share with you guys, so I'm definitely going to be bringing out a lot more content. Whether you're a first-time bearded dragon owner, looking to buy a bearded dragon, or looking to become a bearded dragon breeder, my goal with this channel is to help you reach success, or your you know, your standard of success the best that I can, by giving you my knowledge and teaching you the things that I've learned through lots of mistakes, mishaps, lack of preparation, or just not knowing. You know what I mean? I really feel like YouTube is a great tool and can really help the entire reptile community. So I hope that my videos are helping you all. If they are, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend. And also, one of the reasons I haven't been putting out I've been doing a lot of work on the site, getting up new products for you guys, and just trying to get things in order so that everything can flow systemically. Is that the word I want to use? Well, I guess that's what I'm going to go with right now. But, you know, if you guys want to help support the channel, like I said, I always include links in the description to my store. I'm not the type to ask for donations, guys. I don't want a handout. I definitely want to work for everything that I get. But, you know, I definitely do appreciate any support. Right now, I have I have a couple of T-shirts up on the site. The Peace Love Pagonas T-shirt. I have a Dog Ate My Homework, which is actually a dragon eating homework. It's really cute. And then I have a brick red dragon against a brick red wall shirt up. I love that one. I'll be doing a video just unboxing and showing you guys some of the stuff that I have on the site. Going to actually be adding dubia roaches to the site. Feeders, dubia roaches. Soon superworms will follow. But you can start checking the site immediately for dubia roaches, and I'll be uploading some babies to the site. I try to upload babies to the site, but it's like as soon as I have something to upload, it sells. So it never makes it to the site. I'm not complaining. You know what I mean? But if you guys do want to reach me and try to see if I have anything available, etc., you can always contact me on Instagram. You can contact me on Facebook. You know, I pretty much always check those platforms. But like I said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put these guys in hatchling racks. In their tubs on the hatchling rack, and I'll show you what that looks like, all right? All right, so now we got everybody inside of their tubs. Little prop for them to climb on. Makes life a little easier. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can get you some of this if you want this. This is easy to clip. And, I mean, you know, and it's disposable, you know what I mean? It's inexpensive, so you can just throw it away after it's been used up. You can clean it a few times, but after a while the mesh will start to wear off and you just throw it away. But yeah, this is the hatchling rack. Got plenty of room for future babies. And like I said, at some point I'll probably break these guys down into smaller groups of 3 or whatever's necessary to just continue to ensure optimal growth. All right? But yeah, there we go. And that's what you want to do when you have newborn bearded dragons. Like I said, you want to give them time to all hatch, take them out of the incubator, rinse them off, break them down into, you know, manageable groups based on whatever you want to base it on, and then put them in tubs and let them start to absorb some UVB and heat. Tomorrow I'll start offering them food. Oh, before I go, let me show you an example of what I mean when I say keeping food readily available. Like I said, I don't really have to worry about feeding these guys today. They're not going to start eating each other today. But I know tomorrow I definitely want to make sure that food's readily available for them. And like I said, the missus will be able to take care of that. They'll all have bug bowls full of dubia roaches. But I'll show you some hatchlings that I have on another rack and how we use the bug bowls. These are some small dubia roaches. And some multivitamin and calcium powder. Shake them up real good. Here's my small bug bowl. Ta-da. And now I don't have to worry about these roaches escaping. Hungry dragons, no problem. Bug bowl in action. And like I said, I can literally just leave a bug bowl full of roaches like this in every tub and let these guys eat as they please. At this age, I actually start feeding them Repashy. So what I usually do is I'll go through, give everybody some Repashy, make sure they're nice and full already, give them some greens, and then I'll come through and leave a bug bowl like this here, and they'll eat as they please. This is actually these guys' third time eating today because they've already had a bowl of roaches. But one thing about bearded dragons that you'll learn quickly is that they will eat as long as you will feed them. Especially when they're this size. When they get older, they slow down a little bit. But at this size, they love to eat. And as you see, this guy's just collecting roaches on his body over here. I don't know why. He just insists on letting them climb all over him. All right, but yep, that's it, folks. Like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Gonna have a lot more content coming soon for you all. I appreciate everyone who's been supporting me in the channel thus far. People who've been ordering the shirts, ordering the Repashy, sending reviews and leaving reviews about the products and let me know what they think. I really appreciate you guys. If you've learned anything from this video, if this has brought any value to you today, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and in the meantime and in between time, guys, peace, love, pagonas. Didn't have my sidekick with me today. She's at her grandma's house with her cousins. They're having a sleepover, little girl party. So she just left Dad here all alone. Me and my lizards. These are my only friends, guys. So, you know. Anyway, peace.